The small human exploration ship shuddered violently as it descended through the thick clouds of the alien moon. Ethan Cole, a young engineer, gripped the edge of his control panel, his knuckles white. The ship's alarms screamed, red lights blinking across the cabin. Outside, jagged mountains loomed through the storm, and lightning flashed across the darkened sky. "We're going down," shouted Captain Rena, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Brace yourselves." Ethan tightened his seatbelt and checked the instruments, but it was useless. The storm was too strong, the moon's gravity uneven. The ship slammed into a rocky ridge, sending it spinning across the slope. Metal groaned and sparks flew, but miraculously, the hull held. The ship skidded to a stop in a shallow crater, half buried in dust and rubble. Ethan's heart raced. He quickly scanned the cabin for his crew. The captain was shaken but alive, leaning against the wall, while the navigator clutched the console. Shaking. The comm system was dead, the lights flickering. The crash had left them stranded on a strange and unknown world. "Everyone okay?" Ethan asked, pushing himself off the seat. "I think so," said Captain Rena, rubbing her arm. "But we're far from base, and help will take days to arrive. We need to secure the ship and assess the damage." Ethan nodded. He grabbed his toolkit and began checking the engine core, trying to stabilize power. But as he worked, he noticed a faint glimmer outside the viewport. Something moved in the rocky shadows. At first, he thought it was just a trick of the storm, but then he saw it clearly, a small, delicate figure running quickly and cautiously toward the crater, curiosity mixed with caution. Ethan grabbed his jacket and stepped out into the rain-soaked landscape. The alien terrain was harsh, with jagged stones and glowing fungi that pulsed faintly under the storm clouds. His boots sank slightly into the wet ground as he moved toward the figure. "Hey," he called, raising his hand. "Wait, I don't mean any harm." The figure froze. A soft, trembling voice replied, though Ethan couldn't make out the words clearly. He took another step forward, and the figure darted back. Then, with the storm battering against them, the figure tripped and fell into a shallow puddle. Ethan rushed forward. "Are you okay?" he asked, kneeling beside her. She scrambled backward, her large luminous eyes wide with fear. Her skin shimmered silver in the rain, and her hair flowed like liquid light. She looked fragile, almost ethereal. Don't touch me, human," she cried, backing away further. Her voice was soft but urgent. "Your kind can make me pregnant?" Ethan froze. He blinked, unsure if he had heard correctly. "Wait, what?" "I said," she repeated, her voice trembling. "Don't touch me. Humans, your kind. They can." She paused, swallowing hard. "It can make me pregnant. You don't understand." Ethan raised his hands, showing he meant no harm. I promise I don't understand, but I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to help." The alien girl's eyes narrowed, suspicion and fear clashing with curiosity. She seemed almost too delicate to survive on this harsh moon. Yet there was a strange resilience in her posture. "You don't understand. You can't understand. Humans. They carry strange energy. My people, we must never touch it." Ethan tried to calm her. "I'm not going to touch you. I just want to know if you're hurt." Her chest rose and fell rapidly as she assessed him. Finally, she whispered, You are different. You do not seem dangerous." Yet, before he could reply, a sharp flash of lightning lit the sky. The storm intensified, rain lashing against them with force. The ground shook as another bolt struck nearby. Ethan realized they couldn't stay exposed for long. He needed to get her to shelter or both of them would be in danger. "Listen," he said carefully. "I need to get back to the ship. It's not safe here. You can come with me or stay here, but the storm will. It could hurt you." She hesitated. Her eyes darted between him and the horizon. Finally, she nodded slightly, though her body remained tense. Ethan extended a hand, keeping it at a respectful distance. "I won't touch you," he said. "Just follow me." Reluctantly, she stepped closer, matching his pace as they navigated the slippery rocks toward the crashed ship. The storm raged, wind howling like a living creature, and the rain stung their faces. Ethan glanced at her occasionally. She moved with grace despite the wet ground, her silver hair glowing faintly in the lightning flashes. Once inside the ship, he led her to a small maintenance room. He closed the door, shutting out the worst of the wind and rain. She sank to the floor, shivering, as he knelt beside her. "Are you hurt?" he asked gently. She shook her head. "No, not hurt, only scared." Her eyes filled with tears, but she did not speak further. Ethan smiled softly, trying to ease her fear. "It's okay. You're safe here. No one will hurt you." She studied him, her expression unreadable. Then, in a quieter voice, she said, "You are not like the others? Humans I have heard about. Most are careless, dangerous, but you are." She paused, unsure how to finish from different. Ethan offered. She nodded for a long time. They just sat in silence. The storm outside battered the ship, and the glowing panels cast soft shadows across the maintenance room. Ethan wondered about her world, how she survived here, alone, so fragile yet brave. He also wondered about the energy she had spoken of, the strange power humans supposedly carried. It sounded like superstition, but the fear in her eyes was real. Finally, she spoke again. "I am Lyra," she said softly. You are Ethan?" "Yes," he replied. "Ethan Cole. I came from the stars. From another world." She nodded slowly, absorbing the words. "From the stars. Humans travel from other worlds?" "Yes," Ethan said. "We explore. We learn. We try not to harm. I am sorry you had to see my ship crash here. I didn't mean to scare you." Lyra's gaze softened, but caution still lingered. "You crash? Lucky to live. But my people, we hide from outsiders. Humans especially. You, dangerous." Maybe unknowingly, Ethan frowned. "I promise, I mean no harm. I just want to help, and maybe learn from you." She blinked, the tension in her body easing slightly. "Learn from me?" "Yes," Ethan said, smiling. "Your world. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Your people, your home. I want to understand it, to see it with my own eyes." Lyra hesitated, her mind racing. She had never encountered a human who spoke like this, who didn't exude danger. Something in his tone, his calm, steady presence, felt different, and despite her fear, she felt curiosity and emotion she rarely allowed herself in the presence of outsiders. The storm outside began to weaken slightly, though the wind still howled. Ethan glanced at the control panel. The ship's systems were stabilizing, but they would not be fully operational for hours. "You will stay here," Lyra said finally, still wary. "But you must not leave this room until the storm passes." "The outside." "Dangerous," agreed, Ethan said. "I'll stay. I can wait. We have time." As the hours passed, the storm outside gradually subsided, leaving behind a wet, glowing landscape. Lightning flickered in the distance, illuminating jagged mountains and the strange, luminous flora of the alien moon. Ethan watched the alien girl quietly. She remained on the floor, her arms wrapped around her knees, eyes wide and alert. "You're unusual," Lyra finally said, almost in a whisper. "Most creatures, humans, would destroy or take what they want. But you? Wait, watch, help, why?" Ethan shrugged, sitting cross-legged opposite her. "I guess I've always believed that we're more than just what others say we are. Humans can be destructive, yes, but we can also choose to protect, to create, to help. I try to be the latter." Lyra studied him for a long moment. Then she said quietly, "Perhaps. Not all humans. Dangerous. Perhaps you are." Different, a soft smile spread across Ethan's face. Despite the fear and uncertainty, a small bridge of trust was forming between them. And although neither of them knew it yet, their meeting on this remote moon would change both their lives in ways they could never imagine. The storm had passed. Outside, the world was quiet, strange, and full of possibilities. Inside the small maintenance room, two beings from different worlds began to understand each other. Slowly and carefully, one hesitant touch, one shared word at a time. And for the first time, Ethan realized that even in the most dangerous and unknown places, Friendship and perhaps something more could take root. The morning after the storm, Ethan awoke to the soft glow of the ship's emergency lights. Lyra was already awake, sitting quietly near the doorway, her luminous hair catching the faint light. She had not slept much, if at all, Ethan realized. Her expression was wary, alert, as if every sound could signal danger. "You should rest," Ethan said gently, not wanting to startle her. "We'll need energy to explore your world." Lyra shook her head. "No, you will see soon. My home underground. You must follow. Careful. Dangerous for outsiders." Ethan nodded, checking the tools he had brought. His curiosity about Lyra's world had only grown overnight. He had read reports about alien colonies on distant moons, but none had described a civilization living entirely underground, away from the surface storms. The idea both excited and unnerved him. Lyra led him carefully through the rocky terrain, keeping to shadows and narrow pathways. As they descended into a hidden cave entrance, Ethan saw the first hint of her people's world. A faint blue glow emanated from crystalline structures embedded in the cave walls. The air was cool and clean, carrying a faint scent of minerals and water. "This way," Lyra whispered, glancing back at him. "Watch your step. Some rocks sharp, some floors." Weak Ethan followed carefully, using his hands to steady himself against the walls. The tunnel twisted and turned, opening into larger chambers as they descended. Water dripped from the ceiling, forming small pools in the stone floor. Strange plants with glowing leaves grew along the edges, casting soft light that illuminated their path. Finally, they reached the main chamber. Ethan gasped. The cavern was enormous, stretching high into darkness above them. Thousands of tiny lights shimmered across the walls bioluminescent plants, crystalline formations, and, most surprisingly, small creatures flitting through the air. The underground world seemed alive, breathing in a way that was almost magical. Lyra's eyes brightened, and she smiled faintly, though it was tinged with caution. "Welcome to our home. Few humans ever see this." Ethan stepped forward slowly, taking in the beauty. "It's incredible. Your people built all this underground?" Lyra nodded. "Not built. Grown crystals. Plants guide us. We live with the world. We take care. It takes care of us." He was amazed. There was a harmony here, a balance that humans rarely achieved. But despite the beauty, Ethan sensed tension in the air. Shadows moved along the walls, shapes of creatures watching them silently. Then he realized the shapes were people, Lyra's people, cautiously observing. Lyra's posture stiffened. They wary, outsider, human, dangerous, maybe. Ethan raised his hand slightly. "I mean no harm," he said. "I just want to learn. I want to help if I can." A few figures approached, cautious but curious. Their skin shimmered like Lyra's, though in shades of silver and blue, and their eyes glowed softly. They carried tools and devices unfamiliar to Ethan, designed for living in underground light and heat. One stepped forward, a tall elder with eyes that seemed older than time itself. "You brought a human," the elder said, voice deep and resonant. "Why?" Lyra spoke quickly. He is not like the others. He saved me. He helped during the storm. He means no harm." The elder studied Ethan carefully. "Your kind carries a strange energy," he said. "It can influence life in ways we do not understand. You could harm us without knowing." Yet, his eyes softened slightly. "There is something unusual about you, something different." Ethan nodded. "I understand your caution. I do not want to hurt anyone. I am here to learn, to help if I can, and to leave only what is helpful behind." The elder seemed to consider this for a long moment, then finally nodded. "You may stay, but you must follow our rules. Touch nothing without permission. Speak little. Observe much. Do not anger the world." Lyra smiled faintly. "Thank you. You will see humans can be good." Ethan felt a surge of gratitude. Despite the warnings and fear, he had been allowed into the secret world. He followed Lyra as she led him deeper into the cavern, past glowing plants and crystal formations. The tunnels opened into a larger hall where the inhabitants gathered. Some carried tools for mining crystals, others tended to glowing plants. while a few children played carefully, their laughter echoing softly. Ethan realized that this society was advanced, yet deeply connected to nature. They did not destroy, they cultivated, nurtured, and preserved. Lyra turned to him. This is our life. Every day. We work, we grow. We protect the balance. Outsiders, humans, rarely understand. Most would disrupt. Harm. Ethan nodded, deeply impressed. I can see that. Your people. You're amazing. I've never seen harmony like this. They walked to a central chamber, where water flowed in a natural spring. Lyra motioned for him to watch as she used her hands to purify the water. Tiny crystals floated to the surface, glowing, absorbing impurities, and leaving the water clean and safe. Ethan's jaw dropped. Your energy. It's in everything, he said softly. Even the water, the plants, the air. Lyra smiled faintly. We live with it, respect it. If outsiders, humans, enter, do not understand, they can destroy. That is why I warned you. As Ethan explored further, he helped with simple tasks. He repaired a broken water pump using his tools, adjusted a minor fault in the crystal energy conduits, and even helped move some heavy stones using techniques he had learned on Earth. The inhabitants watched cautiously, but began to relax as his skills proved useful. Later, as they rested near a glowing pool, Lyra finally spoke again. You saved the tunnels. Without touching life. You are careful, respectful. Most humans reckless. Careless, you. Differently. Ethan smiled, a little embarrassed. I guess I just try to think before I act. I want to help, not hurt. Lyra's luminous eyes studied him closely. Perhaps humans, not all dangerous. Perhaps some could learn. Live with us. Without harm. He nodded. I hope so. I want to learn from your people. Your way of life. Your respect for nature. It's remarkable. As the day passed, Ethan began to understand the depth of Lyra's world. The underground society thrived not because they conquered, but because they lived in balance. They had rules, yes, strict ones, but the rules protected life, harmony, and growth. Ethan realized that humans could learn much from this civilization, if only they would try. But tension lingered. Some inhabitants still watched him with suspicion, whispering among themselves. Lyra's warnings about human energy had left an impression. Even though Ethan meant no harm, the risk remained. One wrong move could undo the fragile trust they had built. That evening, as they sat beside the glowing pools, Lyra finally spoke openly. Ethan, you are human, yet you bring help, life, not destruction. My people, scared of but maybe some humans, not threat, but hope. Ethan reached out, keeping his hand just above the water. Thank you, Lyra. That means a lot. I promise to respect your people and your world. I will not harm it. A soft smile appeared on Lyra's face, though shadows of fear remained. Your touch can awaken energy, life or harm. We never know. Yet I see care in you, maybe destiny. Strange. Ethan tilted his head, curious. Destiny? Lyra hesitated. Legends tell, when human comes, world may change. Not always bad. Sometimes, new beginning, but must be careful. Ethan nodded slowly, sensing the weight of her words. He had always believed in exploration, in discovering new worlds and learning from them. But this world, Lyra's people, and their unique energy carried responsibilities he had never imagined. The night passed quietly, with the soft hum of glowing crystals filling the caverns. Ethan slept lightly, alert to the strange sounds of the underground world. Lyra stayed close, guarding, yet curious about this human who seemed different from all the others. By dawn, Ethan realized that his journey had only just begun. He had survived the crash, gained a foothold in an alien world, and begun to earn the trust of its people. But the real challenge, understanding the true nature of Lyra's world, the strange energy humans carried, and the ancient legends that bound their fates, was only starting. And as the first light of the glowing plants touched their faces, both Ethan and Lyra knew that their encounter was no ordinary meeting. It was the beginning of something larger, something that could change their worlds forever. The underground world was alive with soft lights and quiet energy as Ethan followed Lyra deeper into the tunnels. Each step revealed more of the alien civilization, crystalline walls that pulsed gently, streams of glowing water, and bioluminescent plants that swayed as if in rhythm with some unseen heartbeat. Yet, despite the beauty, tension hung in the air. Some of Lyra's people still watched him warily from the shadows, whispering softly in their strange language. Lyra led him to a narrow chamber where small children were learning to manipulate crystals to purify water. She motioned for Ethan to stay back. "Watch only," she whispered. "Do not touch. They're not ready for outsiders." Ethan nodded, quietly observing. The children's hands glowed faintly as they guided the energy through the crystals, and he realized that their world relied on discipline, respect, and control of natural forces he barely understood. It was incredibly fragile, yet strong. "You see," Lyra said softly, "we must respect the balance. One wrong move, energy could be lost, life harmed." Ethan's eyes widened. "I can see why your people are careful. It's amazing and delicate. I'll be careful, I promise." But as the day passed, whispers grew louder. Some of the adults whispered among themselves, glancing at him with suspicion. Even Lyra could sense the tension building. "They fear you may bring trouble, unintentional," she explained. Ethan nodded. "I understand. I'm different from humans who come without care. I mean no harm." Their discussion was interrupted by a sudden tremor. The ground shook violently, sending small stones tumbling and the glowing plants swaying. From the shadows, a hostile alien faction, taller and darker skinned than Lyra's people, emerged. Their eyes glowed red, and they carried strange energy weapons that hummed ominously. "Attack!" One of the intruders shouted in their language, a harsh, guttural sound. Ethan's heart raced. He barely had time to react as the invaders moved forward. Striking at the inhabitants, Lyra froze for a moment, then grabbed Ethan's arm. "Follow me," she shouted, her voice urgent. They ducked into a side tunnel, narrowly avoiding a sweeping energy blast that shattered crystals nearby. Ethan's hand shook as he realized the danger was real, immediate, and life-threatening. He wanted to help, but he had no weapons, only his knowledge of engineering and tools. "Go," Lyra urged, dragging him deeper. "We must protect the heart of the tunnels. If they reach the central chamber, all is lost." Ethan followed, thinking quickly. He remembered the small water conduits he had repaired the day before. Perhaps he could use them to create a barrier, something to slow the attackers. "Lyra," he shouted, "show me the conduits. I can block them." Her eyes widened. "Dangerous. But maybe, yes." "Hurry." Together, they worked quickly, rerouting the water streams and using the glowing crystals to create a dazzling wall of light and energy. The intruders recoiled at the sudden brilliance, momentarily blinded. Ethan's plan had worked, but it was only a temporary solution. They continued running, deeper into the tunnels, until they reached a small chamber with glowing pools of water. Ethan noticed that the energy of the crystals here was unusually strong. This could help us heal and protect," he said. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes. "Touch it carefully. Human energy is strong here. Could harm, could heal. Must be precise." Ethan nodded, concentrating, using a combination of his hands and simple tools. He directed the crystal energy toward a barrier round the tunnel entrance. Slowly, the light grew, forming a protective shield. The hostile aliens tried to advance, but their energy blasts fizzled harmlessly against the glowing barrier. Lyra watched in awe. You are careful, precise. Your touch, not destroy, but create, protect." Ethan exhaled, exhausted but relieved. "It's not perfect, but it will hold for now." Suddenly, a sharp piece of debris fell from the ceiling, striking Lyra's shoulder. Ethan reacted instantly, pushing her out of the way and taking the blow himself. Pain shot through his side, but he gritted his teeth and helped her up. You saved me." Lyra gasped, her luminous markings glowing brighter in alarm and gratitude. Ethan smiled faintly, wincing. "You did the same for me, I hope." She didn't answer immediately, her eyes locking on his. For a brief moment, the world around them, the danger, the shadows. The glowing walls disappeared. Their hands brushed accidentally as she adjusted a piece of his jacket. Both froze. Lyra's bioluminescent markings began to pulse brighter, responding to his presence in a way Ethan could feel even without understanding it fully. She pulled her hand back quickly, her cheeks glowing faintly in the dim light. I'm energy reacts, cannot, must not, she whispered, her voice trembling. Ethan's eyes widened. Reacts? What do you mean? Your kind, humans, energy can influence life. Our life must be careful, must not touch. Yet her words faltered, but the fear in her eyes was unmistakable. Ethan nodded slowly, trying to understand. I didn't mean to trigger anything. I just save you. That's all. Lyra's gaze softened, though her fear lingered. You strange human must bring harm, but you bring protection, yet energy reacts. The moment was broken by a sudden shout from the tunnels behind them. The hostile aliens were regrouping, trying to bypass their barrier. Ethan and Lyra exchanged a quick glance. We have no time, he said. We need to move, now. She nodded, and they ran through a narrow passage leading to a high cavern, where the air was warmer and the glow of crystals stronger. Here, the inhabitants of her colony had gathered, forming a defensive line. The children and elders watched anxiously as Ethan took his place beside Lyra. The intruders advanced again, and Ethan realized he had to act fast. Using his knowledge of mechanics and the crystal energy, he helped reinforce the natural barriers in the cavern, directing the energy streams to create a dazzling wall that shimmered like liquid light. The intruders faltered, confused and blinded by the brilliance. Lyra's eyes were wide with awe. You control energy, careful, precise. Help us, Ethan smiled, though he was exhausted. We do it together. Your people's energy combined with my understanding. We can protect the tunnels. Hours passed, and finally, the intruders retreated, unable to breach the barrier. The inhabitants cheered softly, relief spreading through the chamber. Lyra approached Ethan, her glowing markings still pulsing faintly. You risked yourself for me, for all of us. You're kind, not all dangerous. Perhaps some bring hope, she said quietly, almost in awe. Ethan shook his head. I didn't do it for praise. I did it because it was the right thing to do. I promised to protect, and that's what I did. She studied him carefully. Your touch, not destruction. But life energy responds. Not feared, but awakened, perhaps. Prophecy strange. Yes, Ethan frowned slightly. Prophecy, Lyra hesitated. Legends, humans, energy. One day, rival. World may change, not always bad. Sometimes. New beginning. Must be careful. But perhaps you. Different. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. He had survived the crash, navigated a strange underground world, and now had helped save an entire civilization. Yet, he realized, the legends Lyra spoke of were not mere stories. They hinted at something larger, a connection between humans and her people that could shape the future. As night fell in the underground cavern, Ethan and Lyra sat together beside a pool of glowing water. Catching their breath, the battle had passed, but both knew this was only the beginning. The threat of outsiders was real, and the energy connection between humans and Lyra's people was stronger than either of them fully understood. Lyra's gaze softened, and for a moment, the fear faded. You save me, my people, yet energy reacts, strange bond. Must learn control. Carefully, Ethan nodded. I want to learn. I want to understand your world, your people, and this energy. Whatever it is, I'll respect it. I promise. She studied him, her glowing eyes reflecting the shimmering light of the crystals. Perhaps not all humans bring harm. Some bring change, life, protection. You, strange human, different. And in that quiet, glowing chamber, amid the danger and wonder, a fragile bond formed between them. Not yet fully understood, not yet named, but real. A bond that would carry them through the challenges ahead, and perhaps change both their worlds forever. The underground world had survived the storm, and it had survived the intruders. But a greater challenge waited, one that would test trust, courage, and the mysterious energy that linked human and alien alike. The underground world had settled into a fragile calm. The hostile intruders had retreated, but their presence left a lingering tension in the air. Ethan and Lyra walked together through the glowing caverns, the soft hum of crystal energy surrounding them. Every step they took seemed to pulse with life, as if the world itself was aware of their presence. Lyra led him to the council chamber, a vast hall carved naturally from crystal and stone. The walls glowed with soft light, reflecting in the water pools that lined the chamber. Elders and leaders of the colony were already gathered, their faces solemn. Ethan felt a mixture of awe and nervousness. This was the heart of their society, and he had never been in a place of such authority among an alien race. Lyra stepped forward, her silver hair glowing faintly in the light. "Council, this human, he helped protect us. He saved our tunnels. He means no harm." An elder, the same one who had first observed Ethan, spoke. "We have watched him closely. He wields a careful hand and a brave heart, but the prophecy warns us. The energy of humans is powerful, unpredictable. One wrong move, our world could suffer." Ethan stepped forward, bowing slightly as a gesture of respect. "I understand your caution. I am not here to harm. I only want to help, to learn, and to leave your world safer than I found it." The elders exchanged quiet words among themselves. One of them, a female elder with luminescent markings across her face, spoke. "The prophecy tells of a human rival, one who can awaken energy, not destroy, but renew. Many humans have come before, and failed. You may be different." Lyra's eyes met Ethan's. "See, I was right. He is not ordinary, but we must test him. The heart, the energy, must be proven true." Ethan nodded. "I am ready. Tell me what I must do." The elders led him to a central chamber filled with pools of glowing water and crystal formations. "This is the heart of our world," one elder explained. "It holds the energy that sustains life here. You must place your hands upon the crystal and channel your intent not to harm, but to protect. The energy will respond. If your heart is true." Ethan approached the crystal slowly, feeling its warmth and hum beneath his fingertips. It pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. He concentrated, thinking of Lyra, of the colony, of all he wanted to protect. Slowly, he extended both hands, placing them gently on the surface. The crystal flared with bright light, the energy radiating outward. Ethan felt it flowing into him, and at the same time, he could sense the life of the colony, the delicate balance of the underground world. The energy did not overwhelm him, it responded to his intent. It bent, shifted, and flowed according to his will, amplifying his desire to protect rather than control. Lyra's eyes widened. "It works. His heart true. Energy flows, not for harm, but life." The elders watched in stunned silence. One of them stepped forward, touching the crystal lightly. "The prophecy, fulfilled. This human, he is the starborn, not a destroyer, but a guardian. The bond of energy between human and our people is awakened. He brings hope, not fear." Ethan withdrew his hands, exhausted but exhilarated. He had felt a connection unlike anything he had experienced before, an energy that was not just physical, but deeply emotional, tied to the life and harmony of this alien world. Lyra stepped close, her markings glowing softly as she studied him. You are truly different. I feared your kind. Yet, you bring life, not destruction. Perhaps some humans can be allies, friends, even more." Ethan smiled faintly. "I never wanted to frighten you. I only wanted to help, to understand. Your people, your world, it is remarkable. I've never seen anything like it." The council elders nodded. "You have proven your intent. You respect life. You protect balance. And you understand the energy. You are welcome among us. Your presence will not harm, but guide." Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "See, I trusted, and my trust is correct. He is human, yet, unlike any we feared, the colony gathered around, their initial suspicion replaced by awe and gratitude. Children approached cautiously, curious about this human who had helped protect them. Ethan knelt down, smiling gently as they examined him, touching his hands and shoulders lightly. Their energy was alive, responsive to his presence, but it was not frightening, it was harmonious. You healed, helped all. Energy feels good, a small child whispered, eyes wide. Ethan laughed softly. Thank you. You all taught me how to see and respect this energy. I am learning from you as much as you are learning from me. Lyra's hand brushed his accidentally as she guided him through the hall. The energy between them responded, glowing softly, a quiet confirmation of their bond. She blushed faintly but did not pull away. This bond, strange yet natural, perhaps. Destiny. Ethan nodded. I think so. I didn't come here expecting this, but I'm glad it happened. I've learned more from you in days than I could have imagined in years. The council leader stepped forward. There is one final test. Your kind carries power, energy that can shape life. To truly be accepted, you must promise to protect, to respect, and to guide, not dominate, not interfere, only nurture. Ethan's voice was steady. I promise. I will protect your world, respect your people, and guide only with care and understanding. I will not harm, and I will not take what is not given. I will honor your trust. The elders whispered among themselves, and finally the council nodded. Then you are accepted. The Starburn, human protector, welcome among us. Lyra exhaled softly, relief and joy mingling in her glowing eyes. I was afraid. Yet you proved humans can be good, sometimes even remarkable. Ethan smiled, feeling a warmth he had never experienced before. And you taught me the true meaning of respect, courage, and trust. The council gathered around the crystal heart, and Ethan, Lyra, and the elders performed a ritual to stabilize the energy flow. Light pulsed through the chambers, flowing into the tunnels, into the plants, into every living being. The colony had survived, not only the intruders, but the doubts and fears that had shadowed them for generations. Lyra turned to Ethan. You're kind. Humans, not all bring harm. Some can awaken life energy. Hope. Ethan nodded. I hope to return to my people and share what I've learned. Perhaps one day, our worlds will meet again, not as strangers or enemies, but as friends, allies. She smiled softly, a mixture of relief, admiration, and something deeper. Perhaps, yes, friend, perhaps more. Time will tell. Ethan glanced at the glowing walls, the energy streams, and the crystal formations that surrounded them. Your world, your people, I will never forget. I've learned what it means to protect life, to respect energy, and to trust in bonds that are stronger than fear. Lyra's luminous eyes met his. And I have learned, not all humans must be feared. To some may bring hope, even change. Life itself, as the night deepened in the underground world. The colony celebrated their survival quietly, knowing that the human among them had not only protected them, but brought a new understanding, a bridge between worlds, a spark of hope, and proof that courage, respect, and care could unite even the most different of beings. Ethan knew he would eventually return to his crew, to the stars, and to his world. But a part of him would always remain here, in the glow of crystals, in the pulse of energy, and in the trust of a small, brave alien girl named Lyra. And for Lyra, the human who had once frightened her with his very existence had become a symbol of a future. She had never dared to imagine a future where humans and her people could walk together, hand in hand, shaping a world full of light, hope, and life. As dawn's first light filtered through hidden cracks in the cavern walls, Ethan and Lyra stood side by side, gazing at the glowing tunnels that now pulsed with renewed life. The prophecy had been fulfilled, but it was not an ending, it was the beginning of a story shared between two worlds, bound together by trust, courage, and a bond that would never fade. The Starburn had arrived, and humanity's presence, once feared, had become a beacon of hope.